Hello and welcome back to Fickle Sports. We are reacting to last night's game. It's England versus Scotland. Ended up 0-0. Hopefully we're back with our audio issues sorted out. Sorry about that last time. Couldn't help it. We're newbies at this, but we're live. It's kind of scary, but we're here.
I thought we were liking the echo. I thought we were liking the fact that you heard everything we said 2 or 3 times.
And we were glitching on the screen as well. Hopefully we sorted that out. But yeah.
It's just a massive shit show. Some audio issues this time, as after going to the pub and watching the game, my voice is not this deep. My voice finally dropped.
Yeah, we only have probably about 20 minutes before Alex probably needs another kip. So let's get into it. What will be coming up on the show?
So in today we're going to be going through the overall feelings, which includes what we thought before the actual game kicked off. Because it's easy to always say stuff after it's happened, but we're going to talk about our feelings before the game. We'll go through the lineup selections, the tactics that we used, our match ratings for every single player. We did decide in the end if we include subs, but we're going to do match ratings.
No, without subs. No. But match ratings, if you can, get your match ratings in the comments as well, and let us know who your man of the match was in the chat as well.
Yeah, and lastly, I think just the changes that we would make as professional managers.
If we were paid millions of pounds to do, who would we pick out
for the Czech game?
Yeah. So overall feelings, like what before the game, how did you feel? Felt nervous for some reason.
Well, it was a big game. For us, it's kind of a bit of a cup final, because if we'd won that game, especially when you consider the game beforehand, if we'd won, we would have definitely been through. And I don't know if you've done a Euro 2020 simulator. You can do it on, I think, UEFA. But if we finish second, I think we have kind of quite a tough. Well, I think they're both tough. But if we finish, I think, second, we have an easy game, and then we have either France or Italy. So that's a really tough run. Whereas if we finish first, we have two kind of quite tough games, not as bad as France, and then a little bit of an easier run to the final. So we could have guaranteed one of those spots. So it was really quite annoying.
Well, I still think England's got the best chance to top the group anyway. I mean, before the game, I was reading. Yeah, Scotland were the 3rd worst ranked country coming into this tournament. I thought that's just wild, but so I was thinking, okay, England should win this, but at the same time, it's a derby. There's bad history in the past, and if England could get a win, we'll be talking about it for 20 years again. So that's what was my ambition was.
Yes, we must be annoying. We must be annoying, kind of as a country fan base. We still go on about 96 and 60. Yeah, Jesus. Yes. Should we apologise?
Yeah.
I've just realised what we are. I would say for me, the 2 big things were, one, I didn't like the lineup, but I didn't moan about it, because I think after Southgate did so well against Croatia, I feel like he had a line of credit. So I didn't mind the changes he made, and again, I would have started different players.
Only 2 changes though.
Yeah, but as I say, my feelings before the game was he's earned me to kind of not chat shit. He absolutely hit the nail on the head with Croatia. So I didn't love the lineup, but I had no qualms. I was like, yeah, it worked for you last time. You do what's worked for you.
Maybe because we weren't angry enough about the lineup, that's why we didn't win. That's probably the reason why. I mean, they were very made a lot of common sense. Those changes, put an actual left back in, Reece James. He came in, you're kind of thinking, okay, you should probably reward Walker or Trippier for their performance, but such is the talent at fullback, it kind of is just rotate them and keep them fresh, maybe. So that's what I was thinking.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to that a little bit. I do want to say my other kind of pre-thoughts thinking, is that English? Doesn't sound like English, but my other pre-thoughts, I'm just going to leave that there. What else I was thinking before the game is how strong Scotland's midfield was. And it's one of them where kind of I looked at them a little bit, but I hadn't looked at it's going to sound really weird, but it's I'm watching kind of their actual game, and it was only when I actually looked at their starting lineup against England, I was like, that's quite strong. You had Gilmour,
McTominay and McGinn,
and it's a strong kind of lineup.
Yeah, and they're physical. They run non-stop. Gilmour, I think maybe this tournament is a bit early for him, but he's super talented, and I thought we could get at that midfield still, but. Yeah. How did you feel about this game overall?
By the end of the game, I felt really let down, and I'll tell you why. Because so against Croatia, I feel like we set up tactically to be really solid defensively, and Croatia were the type of team where they would allow us like kind of chances, which they did, and we took full advantage of that. And I think against Scotland, I think everyone was expecting the game to be how it was. We had the more possession, as you can see in our stats. There. as you can see, like we had more possession, and we were fully expecting we will have to break down Scotland, and we just did not. I don't think we took enough risks, and I feel like there was not enough creativity in that team.
Yeah.
I understand why he played Shaw and James. Well, I think I understand it because he played Shaw and James because they're a lot more attacking. So you want them to get forward, get into attacking positions, and to help the team, or at very minimum, get up the pitch and create some width for the attacking players.
Yeah.
But they just didn't get forward, and I don't think it's for any fault of their own because Shaw and James both love bombing forward.
They did well.
So we basically had these two kind of Ferraris. People that say that we have two Ferraris for wing backs, but we're just sitting there going, "Oh no, but just keep it back though." You know,
Yeah. I know how you feel. I mean, that's why I said to you last game against Croatia. I said, is it because England are good, or the fact that England were average and then Croatia were poor? This extra game kind of made me think, okay, maybe we're more towards the average scale, and Croatia, their latest result kind of showed that they're kind of poor. So that's kind of where I feel.
Do you know what? Annoyingly, I don't think England are average. I think that we're scared. We're little bitches.
Yeah, well, that's the issue I have with today's game. That our midfield, they were too scared. Oh yeah, yesterday they were too scared to play the ball vertically through the lines in between Scotland's midfield and defence. Constantly I kept seeing Rice and Calvin Phillips just pass it sideways, and I was like, we're never going to get anywhere. It's a derby, I appreciate it's a scrap, but after those moments where it's super intense, there is moments in the game where you have to dominate possession, you have to create, and I just didn't think England did that at all well.
They didn't commit enough bodies to the attack. They just, and that's the thing, we didn't create overloads. Every time we got into into their attacking third, they were able to just get the numbers on us and just crowd us out. And the thing I really didn't like about the lineup is, hey, Mickey Leeds. I'm not going to slag off Phillips, don't worry. What's he said? Southgate reminds me of Ollie, pathetic excuse for manager. And Super Jack Grealish was awful. Kane looked like he was on crutches.
Yeah, a lot of people agree with that. So why don't we go through the lineup? Let's go through, what you thought about it.
Okay. So the lineup wasn't bad. Okay,
Pickford, fine.
Pickford's fine, deserved this starting slot. I like the rotation of fullbacks, especially as in this day and age, it's a very draining role because you are just constantly. Maguire, I'm annoyed. Actually, I'm not annoyed because where it was 0-0, if we were 2-0 up, I would have thrown on Maguire just to get some match fitness. But I think where it was 0-0, I think you don't want to upset that defensive unit.
No. Centre backs you don't really want to change really. Maguire, he put pressure on the Southgate by declaring himself fit. Didn't work.
Good.
Centre backs.
That's good management.
Yeah.
He needs to be top of the food chain.
Centre backs, I had no issue with them starting again. Shaw, he got the nod over Chilwell. I kind of understand. I think Shaw was more of a physical fullback, and he probably thought it was going to be quite a physical game against Scotland. Rice and Calvin Phillips kept their starting roles again. That was absolutely fine because you need to protect the back four against Scotland as well. And it was really unchanged. It didn't have a lot of issues. Maybe you thought. Well, I have always thought that Jack Grealish should have started no matter what.
My issue is when you look at you, I deal with that for.
Yeah. That's why I kept seeing. Rice, Calvin Phillips, I think that Stones was the only one to really kind of push out and actually try in an attempt to get down the line, but it was pretty passive stuff.
And the things we saw Kane again, as you said, he did look like he was in crutches. That's if you even saw him. And the thing is, though, is Kane, he's such a quality player. He's scored the most goals, he got the most assists, he's a top quality footballer. They're just not giving him any service.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, right? Tottenham this season, right? and I saw it with my own eyes. It was hurtful. Tottenham this season, awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gets most goals and most assists. So it speaks volumes that this England team can't get him to do anything.
Yeah.
if he's getting stuff out of like kind of this awful Tottenham side.
Last bit on the lineup though. So you thought Jack Grealish should have gone in ahead of who?
Here's my thing. Okay, if you were to describe kind of the attacking players, okay, so I'm taking out Rice and everyone behind him. So because Phillips, let's say I would call him a box to box.
Yeah.
Mount, I'm just going to create words here, but I find he's like kind of he's a linker, so he links up the midfield, the attack very well. He might not get the assist, but he'll get the assist to the assist.
Yeah.
Okay, Foden. I feel like we're still discovering what Foden is, but he's a bit of a creator. He can do a bit all of it. Sterling's a finisher.
Yeah.
Kane can be a creator for spacing behind the defence, and there's someone on the end of it, which there wasn't with Scotland. But he's also a finisher and a little bit of a creator. My problem is you've got all the onus on Phillips, who every now and again he can have that creativity, but it's not his.
It's not on him to create. It shouldn't be on him to create, right?
And you've only got Foden. It just makes it so easy for Scotland.
Yeah, this is my only counter. So I probably would have played Grealish instead of Foden. As soon as Grealish came on, right, you could see how far Scotland sat back, right? It wasn't. I think if you started Jack Grealish, it probably might not have been as open as it was going to be, because they just have to double. They have to double him throughout the whole game, and like that's only my counter. I would have started him, but that's my only counter.
No, I agree, but the thing is though, you're right. As soon as he came on, he sat back, but no one in England was making any runs.
Yeah.
It's and that's where you needed someone like Shaw to be like kind of bombing down left, give him something else to think about. I just want to say, when I say not making runs, I mean like kind of trying to like kind of make attacking runs, because I do actually think the England team, they did work really hard.
Yeah. See, that's where like I just see Mickey Lees said we don't need Phillips and Rice together, which is a fair point. This is why I was quite upset at Gareth Southgate not bringing Maddison on the plane, even though we're in Wembley.
Here's my thing, Mickey and Gary. Right, here's my thing. For Scotland, it shouldn't be Rice and Phillips. You're picking one.
Yeah.
I would probably go with Rice, because I think Rice is better defensively, and it'll enable all the players ahead of him to like kind of do a bit more. Against teams like Croatia, Phillips and Rice, I'm happy with that all day, because them two, they stop so much trouble. And as we saw with Phillips, it's not only does he stop trouble, he also has the ability to kind of create for us in like kind of those small opportunities. But against Scotland,
yeah. No, I agree. Yeah, as long as that midfielder is willing to scrap, you need someone to create, basically. And I thought someone like James Maddison would be super useful in this game. Okay, we go quickly to man of the match.
I mean, look, I feel for the Pickford.
Yeah, it's got to be Pickford. It's got to be
Pickford.
One awesome save, punched everything from every corner. When the ball came back to him, didn't fuck about. He just cleared it, and he passed it out sometimes when he had to, and that he didn't put a foot wrong. Everyone else on that pitch, they weren't close to being man of the match. The rest of them.
No. Well, we usually do unsung hero at this point as well, and I'm just gonna skip that. The thing is, it's not the players' fault. I don't blame the players.
It was a tricky game in the end.
Against Scotland, no way we didn't need that. Against big teams, I get it, but Scotland, embarrassing.
My unsung hero was John Stones. Ooh. I mean, I feel like he was a bit unlucky with the header. A lot of people criticising for him not missing that chance. For him missing the chance. I thought it was a bit unlucky, and I think he was the only one with balls to actually push out from defence and try and pick out passes from the midfielders who were just occupying that gap between like defence and midfield. But I mean, I'm not championing him as having like a great game, but you know, like, he would be my one unsung hero.
The only problem I have with everything you've just said is that you said he hasn't got the balls when his name's Stones. Like, that is a pun. Like, what are you doing? Mount was bad yesterday. Mount tried. Yeah, it's actually quite funny. Mount, on who scored, actually had the highest rating, but I think he had one of those quiet games where we linked up stuff but it links it to nothing. So
Yeah,
it's one of them where if he's getting the assist, but the goal doesn't happen, he's doing nothing.
Yeah, and it's relative to everyone else probably.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay, we can go to match ratings then.
I'm going to make this really easy and quick for everyone. And again, I don't actually blame any of the players because maybe a little bit because I feel like maybe they could have taken the onus, and like taken those risks. Kind of got forward a bit more, made like kind of runs, even if it's like nothing runs, just to drag away kind of players. But I'm just going to give everyone a 6.
Okay, fine. I don't have everyone as a 6. Mickey, put your match ratings in the chat as we go along. I mean, Pickford, I gave 7.5 for all the reasons that I said before. I mean, Scotland could have easily won this game because England created a lot of chances, but so did Scotland, and on their day they could have won. An amazing save, punched everything out from corners. I thought Scotland would try to be quite dangerous on set pieces as well. So I thought he did really well.
Yeah.
You giving him a 6?
I'll give him a 7. If we're gonna,
you gave him man of the match.
I did it because it is. I'm still upset about the result, but it was a very good save. If ever there was a single moment that deserved someone to score to get bummed up a little bit, that was it.
Reece James.
Yeah, look, 6. Defensively, kind of he was good. I mean, look, everyone was defensively good because we didn't concede.
Yeah.
But I feel like I don't. The thing is, I don't know whether it's his fault or if it's Southgate's system, but we did not get the best out of Reece James or Luke Shaw offensively, and it's really. You know how many crosses he put in?
No.
Yeah, one.
Oh,
You've got a player with the delivery of James, and he's not in positions to put the ball into the box for Kane.
Yeah.
Who loves crossing the ball?
Well, I thought that's why I would have picked Trippier for that position, but I mean, I gave him a 6. Not good, not bad. I think down that side, both Scotland and England were having a lot of joy, and it was like it's going to be a tough game for everyone on that side. John Stonesy.
Yeah, the thing is, he did play well. He hit the post, but I cannot give anyone other than Pickford. I am not giving anyone above 7, so he can have.
Stones, I give a 7.
I give him 6.5 because the more as we go through it, I'm like kind of the angers, like the emotions leave it. I give him a 6. He did have a good game.
Yeah, I thought Stones had a good game.
Hang on, before we carry on, we shouldn't. Ming surely for a goal saving challenge. That's a good point. What unsung hero or man of the match, Mickey? Southgate to blame. Southgate to blame imagination if Bielsa or Klopp had this too. I'm actually blind, by the way, Mickey Lee. I very much need these, but I need to look good for the camera, so I'll drop them.
Why don't I read it for you then?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Everybody except Mings and Pickford get 5. Kane, I gave it 2. Ooh.
Mickey's
7.5. Pickford. Mickey's on your wavelength.
I think he's on my mind.
Mings then. Mings is a good shout. Mings he had. There was one cross that came in where he basically contorted his entire body and then smashed it out. I don't know how. He had amazing athletic ability there. Saved it. It was him off the line as well.
I think so. Fine, we'll go. He can have a 6.5 as well.
Yeah, I'll give him 6.5. I mean, he also kind of like, almost cocked up and let Che Adams in, which is kind of a concern. But he played well. I wouldn't say he played badly or goodly. Luke Shaw.
6.
Yeah.
What I said for Reece James, paste it. He only had 2 crosses, by the way, did Luke Shaw. Although he's not known for his delivery, but he's known for his good runs and like kind of being part of the build-up play. He's got more chance of actually.
I think offensively he had a couple good balls that he chipped over for Sterling. I think maybe Mount as well. So I was really happy with that output. But both of Scotland's best chances came on his duty on the left. So I thought he should have been a bit closer to snuff out that chance that Pickford saved. And then there was that right at the beginning. I think there was that cutback for Che Adams as well. They kind of got outplayed on that left flank, and like I felt okay. He's kind of like that was kind of worrying. So I gave him a 6. Declan Rice.
6. Look,
I gave him a 5.
The thing
0.5, I think.
The thing is, what do you want from Rice? Like, he's not going to kind of go forward and create. We didn't concede. He did protect the defence still. He was always there, kind of. And I know people are going to go, oh well, he should have run forward. He's not that player.
Yeah.
He's, it's like sit there and saying like kind of Busquets. Oh, that's how I like kind of see it. You would if like kind of Barcelona or back in the day.
No. But Busquets, you know how clever he is at evading pressure and passing it in between the lines. I know that's not Rice's game, but I mean, you have to try.
But my point isn't like kind of the similarities between Busquets and Rice. My point is Busquets isn't going to go for it and do an overhead kick and like kind of win you a game like kind of that way. And neither's Rice. Hang on, just so we can wait. You need to read it.
Yeah,
I'm too blind.
unsung. Let's be real. We're clutching at straws here. Well, yeah, at 0-0. Yeah, we're clutching at straws.
We agree.
Calvin Phillips. We'll get to that. Right at the end. Calvin Phillips.
6. Well, he worked hard. I think he did like kind of his defensive duties again. Tried to like kind of create the best he can, but again he isn't that kind of player to do that on a consistent basis throughout the match like Grealish is, which is why I would have gone with Grealish.
Yeah, I'm like 5.5, 6 as well. Like good energy. He had a lot of very good energy as well. The onus on him to attack was just it couldn't happen 2 games in a row. He did a lot of fouling. I
did at one point think, was this tactical?
I appreciate. I've been that player on a team, and like that is not a nice tactic to have. Mason Mount.
6. Look again. I feel like he did his job, but if nothing else like kind of comes off, then you know, and you know what? I take that back a little bit because Mount, I'd say more than Phillips, does have the ability to like kind of on a more consistent basis create or even score. So maybe I still give him a 6, but yeah, maybe he should have done a bit more offensively. But I still think it's a tough system.
Yeah, I give him a 6 as well. Had some nice touches. Had a few through balls over the top that kind of got England through a little bit. Forgot to mention the best through ball of the entire night was Jordan Pickford when he completely smashed it and he went over to Rashford, and that's actually why I should have given man of the match for me. But
you gave him man of the match.
But Mount, his set pieces were so bad.
Yeah,
and he insisted on taking them, even though every single one was bad. And I was like, mate, you gotta let someone else give it a go. Like, I mean, like I know he's talented at set pieces.
Should we give Kane corners again just for the shits and giggles?
Yeah. Well, that's going out into touch somehow, and if it's the same Euro Championships, but
I actually, this is going to be controversial. I don't mind Mount constantly taking our set piece because he is a good set piece taker, and he was off.
Yeah. Mickey agrees. Every corner wasted, absolutely wasted. That's one of England's strengths, and we couldn't get a ball past the first man. Foden.
6.
6.
Yes,
all 6. Yeah.
But people thinking that they've turned up to a cricket review.
Yeah, Foden, he's capable of some very nice touches and he's good on the ball, but I don't kind of see the effectiveness of his game yet for England.
Scotland dealt with him very well, and he needs help. You know, you can't do these situations. You want to get Foden one-on-one with his defender and just like kind of let him do like kind of whatever comes naturally, because he can pass, he can shoot, he can dribble. He's an absolute nightmare to mark. What can I think of any moments where he really got a chance to like kind of be decisive in the attacking third?
Yeah. Sterling.
6. For me, he falls under Kane. So I do think he's more of a finisher. You look for Man City, he gets goals for them, not because he's not putting in the through balls, although he can do it. He is a finisher. He gets into good positions, and he was
I'm inclined to give him 6, but I will say with Sterling that at least he was one of the only ones to properly try to take people on. He tried.
Yeah.
Like the rest of the Kane, Foden, Mount, anyone else didn't even try to take anyone on.
Yeah.
So he gets credit for me because he tried. and we needed it.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, as you may have mentioned earlier, Mickey, is the biggest clutch of straws you'll ever hear in football. He gets points because he tried, which is basically...
I didn't give him an extra 0.5. It's still got a 6 for me, but... Harry Kane.
6. You could give him a 2. Like,
I give him a 4.
Kane, literally, he did nothing. But as I said before, he's got no service. He literally, he does like kind of... you know what he does for England? He does the small things, which I think when you watch him for Tottenham, which I think you appreciate, like kind of getting fouls, like kind of making good runs. And it's like, oh, that's good, with the goals and assists.
Yeah.
And all we're seeing is that's okay.
Yeah, there was one point he came really deep, and I'm like, you're just doing it because you haven't touched the ball in ages, but you still need to be up there trying to cause a havoc. But I don't know, what's the worry meter for Kane? Mine's pretty high now.
What's dropping?
No. Just I'm kind of concerned because we kind of always have to play him. I'm kind of worried because like in the World Cup he was smashing in goals straight away. And
wait. So what is your question? Am I worried? Like,
what are you worried for England? Because for England to get far, we need Harry Kane.
I'm not worried about Kane for England. I'm worried that we're not creating chances.
Yeah, that's very.
If you want to catch up on the comments.
Mick Lee says Reece James was there to put crosses in. Did you see any go in the box? No, 1 cross.
He did 1 cross.
6. Sorry, no chance he got a match rating of 3 lads. Who?
Is that Kane? It's Kane, isn't it?
No. I mean, Kane got 4 for me. You know, he did one nice move with Sterling, and that was about it. And you know, when England could have got on the break, he kind of just passed it out to the wing, and it got cut out. And I was like, you can't. Such a simple pass could have been dangerous, and yeah, it was really. I'm kind of worried.
Yeah, I am too. He was talking about Kane. He thinks he's still playing for Spurs. Spurs are awful too, though, Mickey. That's the thing. The Spurs are awful. You saw your team. They absolutely picked apart Spurs in the latter part of the season. Was it 2-0 in the end? I think.
Yeah, maybe he plays too much like he's playing for Tottenham, and he just needs to embrace the fact that he's got better players with him, trying to hopefully create for him.
I think you're right. I'll tell you why. What would you have Kane do differently? Because as you just said, he dropped deep to try and get the ball because he hasn't touched it, and that's when he would sometimes create. There's no one except for maybe Sterling running in behind, and then when he's up there, kind of making runs, no one's finding him.
Yeah.
Do you know? It's a bit like Lewandowski when he plays for Poland. Do you know what I mean? You know, another brilliant striker, but the thing is, he's not getting the service. But it's more annoying for England because the players are there.
Yeah. Gareth Southgate.
Let's the chat deal with this. So everyone who's in the chat, Gareth Southgate, ratings out of 10. Are we all in agreement?
From how you feel with the lineup, the tactics, and the substitutions, how does everyone feel?
If I'll give him the lineup, it's always difficult because I always think in my head this is what I would have gone with. Anything different is going to give him a lower score. So lineup, I would have given him a 5. It wasn't great. It wasn't like I understand the decisions he made. Everything else, the tactics, the subs were awful.
What's wrong with the subs?
Why would you, if you need a goal, take off the leading? And regardless how shockingly bad,
he was playing shockingly bad.
Surely, if you need a goal, the last thing you do is take off one of the best strikers in the world.
Yeah.
Even if
I would have paired Rashford with Kane up front.
Kane's not great with a partner.
So we have to bend to Kane's will all the time.
he's probably one of our best players. You know.
Okay. But what rating do you give for Southgate?
2.
Yeah.
It's 2. What were they giving him? 0. Can't give him more. I don't blame you, Mickey. And look, Salah ZZN. I'm just gonna call you Salah because I'm not.
Salah's season. Don't be ridiculous.
I don't know. I'm hungover. Come on. 0-0. You know what?
I give him a 2. Wasn't tactically. Thing is, it's in-game tactics, right? So when the game unfolds, you're gonna get stuck. There's gonna be a pin on a few players, and you need certain players to tweak it and try and get and create. I didn't feel like he did that. He threw on Jack Grealish, but then Scotland came out and were like, okay, we'll just sit back a little bit more and we'll hold on to this point.
Based on what you said, I've gone from a 2 to a 1. So I'm upset that you're saying that the onus should be on the players to like kind of tactically change stuff. It's Southgate. Are you really?
No. As in like when you're protecting zones, you're protecting your man marking players.
Yeah.
Certain players then now become the players that need to influence the game. Right.
Okay.
So Southgate needs to change the tactics just to tweak it, just so that he gets his main players back on the ball.
Okay.
You know what? Know what I mean.
Yeah.
Who's coming? Our next section is who's coming out against the Czech Republic.
Okay, I'm going to fly through this quite quickly.
We can put the lineups up actually.
Oh yeah. Boom. We meant to do that for the whole match ratings.
Yeah.
We forgot. We all that work. We got the lineup. Here's what should happen for England, right? And I feel like everyone is on the same page with this. Right?
Go attacking.
Well, go attacking, right? Because we have the players. You know, you look at Italy and France. They sit there going, "We have the players to attack. We're going to play to our strengths, and we're going to go out and attack." And it's worked for them. And I think England should do the same. What the lineup should be, right, based on performances so far, is Pickford in goal, right? Shaw on the left. I'll stick with Shaw. Maybe Chilwell. You're not sure Chilwell. I don't mind. One of them, right? On the right, James or Walker. Again, like kind of both good players.
What about Trippier?
Or Trippier. Fair. Do you know what it is with Trippier, right?
I think his crossing and set piece is better than Reece James.
Yeah, you're probably right. Do you know what my problem with Trippier is, right? And this is what I hate, because everyone kind of goes on about Trippier and they say, oh, he wasn't great in La Liga. Oh, he was very good in La Liga. And they've watched about 5 minutes of him in the Champions League. I watch Champions League and I watch Premier League. I don't have time between watching nearly every Premier League game to watch La Liga. So I can't give an educated opinion on Trippier's season.
Yeah.
But for me, look, Pickford, I would stick with Mings and Stones for now. Just I don't know how fit Maguire is. Rice, Holding, Mount in the role he plays for Chelsea in central midfield. Grealish in central midfield.
Okay.
Now this goes against my own logic, where I think you should play players in the positions that they play for their clubs. But Grealish for Aston Villa,
very attacking lineup.
In the Championship, he played in that role. He still tracks back. He works hard. He would still kind of do his defensive part. But did you know? And he's in the Championship. But when he was in central midfield, he had the same attacking output.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like he could still provide the defensive cover and be the Grealish that we know that he's done at Aston Villa.
Yeah.
Left Foden, because he plays there for City. I think it's a role, and it's. I think we discussed it before, but he understands the spaces a lot better on the left. Sancho, where is Sancho? You need to unlock a defence, and you have one of the best kind of young players in there. Sancho on the right. He's the only player who understands that right wing position properly.
Yeah, it's just his decision making that's a bit difficult. You know, if teams decide to sit back, that's. But if the game's open, absolutely have like Sancho in the squad.
Has Foden done anything like kind of other than hit a post? That was a bit magical against Croatia. But has Foden done anything like kind of to like kind of keep that spot?
So you keeping Sterling?
No, Kane up top. Sterling on the bench. I would love Sterling to come off the bench because he is an absolute live wire. Imagine saying Sterling, you've got half an hour, make something happen.
I still like Sterling. I still like Sterling. I mean, I would have.
You would have Sterling over Foden in that formation I just put out there.
You know, I think the only person I put in probably is I put Grealish in for Calvin Phillips. So you have Mount in midfield. I want to see Foden in attacking mid.
What's to play 4-2?
Because like he's
3-1.
Yeah, so he's better on the ball. Keeps the ball. His pass stats are like 90%. Touches are great. He knows when to attack in through the lines and not. I know he's playing like right wing for Man City, but I just don't see left wing. Okay, yeah. It's not effective for England at the moment. So like, I'd have Sterling.
For me, on the left, it's either Sterling, Foden, or Rashford or Grealish. But as I say, I put Grealish in midfield. And if you said I'm going to put Sterling over Foden in the lineup I've just put out there, I wouldn't have that many qualms.
Okay. difficult. It's really difficult. You have a lot of good players. It's just.
Do you
It's
want to
just.
catch up with the comments?
Yeah. Well, Mickey Lee says Bamford would have run triple what Kane did yesterday. That's what we needed, not lazy players. He did kind of look a bit lethargic. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm still
and he's
shocked.
shopping James over Trippier. Trippier.
Yeah. the thing is, I'm still shocked Bamford didn't make the lineup, considering he was second to Kane.
Bamford, Maddison. I don't understand why they didn't make it.
Well, and you know, like the thing is, that Bamford has the CV. It's like you want a striker to have goals and assists. Who's this English player with the second most goals and assists in the Premier League?
Yeah,
Bamford.
I don't know. Maybe he's too posh for the England team. He's just sitting there reading whilst people are on the lash.
Come on, Leeds. Knock that poshness out of him.
Yeah, of all the fans, they should get the poshness out of him. What are you saying? Mickey says, think personally would rather play Phillips on his own as he's used to it. Rice has Souček. No, it's just a good point. It's a good point.
It's a good point. I mean, I would happily try it. I think, especially if you're playing a team like Scotland, if we tried to play Phillips like kind of in that role that I just explained, and he's the holder there, if we put him there, and it didn't go well, you can always swap him, or vice versa if you start Rice. You know, because I feel like Scotland aren't going to put themselves in a position where they're going to be absolutely going to win it at half time.
Okay. Final section. Current coming home level. Where is it on a scale of 1 to 10 or 0 to 10?
The coming home ometer is, you know, it's a tricky thing. I'll tell you why, because all England fans, it starts off as a joke. It's like, it's coming home. Yeah, it's coming home. It's a joke. And then, as we do better, which hasn't happened yet, it gets like slowly, oh, okay. This might actually be real. So at the moment, 3. I'm so depressed.
3?
I'm so depressed after that.
Mine's a 5. It's not high, it's not low. It's, you know, they'll get through to the next round. Touch wood. Jesus Christ, have I jinxed it? They'll get through, and we'll see in the knockout stages how we get through. So that's it.
Maybe I'd be high if I wasn't hungover.
Yeah, maybe. You didn't waste your one night out on England versus Scotland, which turned out to be a 0-0.
Yeah, what an awful, all that beer just to sit there and watch one of the worst performances. Certainly, I think it's the worst performance in the Southgate era.
Yeah.
But
that's it. That's all we have today. We'll be back after the next game. I don't even know when the next game is, but we'll be there for the next game the day after.
Yeah, Mickey Lee says it's not coming home. 0.3 chance.
0. We're giving out 0.3 out of 10. Wow,
Can we blame him?
No.
But especially Mickey, thank you for all the comments and thank you for everyone who watched. And if you're watching this later, we hope you enjoy it.